हाँ और प्लेटों के हिसाब से
We're doing live right now. I'm also sharing this on Facebook as well. The group name is Seattle Real Estate Community. I also have a Facebook group that I did myself. So just in case anybody is interested, inbox me. I'll send you the link for the group or information for the Facebook page.
Okay, thank you very much. What is your Facebook?
So I'm going to share my screen right now and go through the presentation. If you're able to hear me, just message in the chat. Yes, I'm able to hear you, so that I know you're able to hear me, and then we can go from there. Okay. So I usually make my presentations very clean, with very little information. I don't take any information from internet. I don't take any information from articles. I put whatever information I actually learn, and then I put it there so that you have less information and you focus more on what I have to say. So nowadays, a lot of people are actually buying new construction homes. I always get this question, hey, everything looks good about the new construction homes, but I like to share the pros and cons and everything of the new construction homes, because I feel like my buyers or anybody should be aware of things they should know about new construction. So I'll give you a little bit about my introduction, because most people don't know like who I am and why I qualify to do this presentation. If I don't qualify to do this presentation, you shouldn't be listening to me. You should only listen to me if I qualify. So I have to let me tell you a little bit about myself. I started real estate about 7 years ago. Well, most of the people actually start real estate. They become an agent by reading books and writing their exam. And that doesn't give them any real experience. So I do have real experience where I worked for an investor for almost 1 to 2 years in the beginning, where he made me do everything like negotiate contracts, do flipping, renting, landlord, talking to the tenants, doing commercial lease, warehouses, office space, retail, industrial spaces, apartment buildings, pretty much every single thing I have actually worked, that any real estate agent will actually take about 10 to 15 years to learn. I actually learned that stuff in my first 1 to 2 years, because I had a boss and he was pretty strict. So he would make me do everything. Most of the real estate agents are independent, so they don't have much pressure to actually learn things faster. But when I became my own investor and started flipping houses, I found a lot of realtors that have so many problems that I was really frustrated with. Back then, I did not have a real estate license. So I used to work with a lot of realtors who were not knowledgeable about disclosures. They didn't have real-time experience negotiating price and terms. They didn't have time to return phone calls, because one time I decided to work with the best real estate agents in the state, and they were the one that wouldn't want to work with me. They want their assistants to work with me, because they don't have time to actually work with me, and their assistants were very new to real estate. And it would entirely defeat the purpose of me working with the best agent, because basically I'm working with their assistant. They were not proactive enough. They couldn't make quick offers. Sometimes there were properties that came on the market, which was very, very nice, and I had to buy them. And they took days to respond to me, and basically I lost those deals. Right. So I was pretty upset with that. They lack patience. If I actually see more than 3 to 5 properties, they will be like, hey, you know what? You have seen enough properties. Like, do you like any properties? They would pressure me to buy something, because they don't want me to see more than 3 to 5 homes if I have to make a decision. And then they were too inexperienced to guide me on the paperwork. Like, for an example, if the real estate have paperwork, disclosures, purchase agreement, contingency, inspection, financing, addendums, escalation clauses, a whole bunch of things, they didn't really explain me. I had to do my own research to learn about those things. They lacked passion. They didn't want to do real estate as their hobby. They wanted to do it because it's their job and they just want to make money. And they didn't explain me the process very well. So I got really tired with all the real estate agents that I was working with. So I became my own real estate agent. Then other people started reaching out to me because they saw I was sharing knowledge and I was adding value. So now I'm actually helping other people with their home buying process as well. So I hope that makes sense. So let's get into the topic real quick, right? As I said, my presentations are very clean with very less text and stuff like that. So this is actually an older home style, right? Why should somebody buy older home? Everybody should be buying new home, right? I mean, it doesn't make sense. Hey, if you're buying an older car, like why would you buy it? Okay, so first thing is, right, with home, the older homes, this is just an example. I mean, this home is not very pretty and nice, but there are a lot of nice homes as well, that are very nice. So this is a home where we actually have like almost all the bedrooms are on the main floor, right? Let's say sometimes people have arthritis, they have knee problems, and they have back problems. They can't walk up the stairs. Sometimes people also have kids, right? And it's hard for young kids to be carried up to the stairs. You know, every time you have to go up and down. It's also sometimes safety issue as well. Like sometimes the kid falls on the floor. Sometimes the stairs are slippery. You wear a socks, and all those things actually happen when you don't have bedrooms on the main floor. So you can see a lot of main floor bedroom in this home. Pretty much everything is on the main floor, right? There is no second story. um, the the builders back in the days, let's say like 20 years ago, had a big heart. They would actually take a big lot, big land, and they would build one big home on it, right? Or they will make like a home which has like a lot of square footage on the main floor. But the problem is land was a lot more cheaper like 15, 20 years ago, right? In Bellevue, Bothell, let's say in East Side, in Seattle area, everywhere like land was cheaper. Now land is so expensive to buy. So what people are doing is, I'll show you in a little bit, that instead of putting one home in this one big lot, they're putting two homes, right? These homes also have big backyards as well, and also big front yards. If you see the garage is full, you can park almost like 4 or 5 cars in the driveway. And then that's a good thing about the newer home, the older homes, right? But the thing is that older home have like older plumbing and everything is older. Sometimes older homes have copper plumbing, right? But the new code allows you to only have flex plumbing. Okay, copper is no more used, right? So if you are changing plumbing, sometimes you have to remove all the copper from the home and put the new plumbing, because it's difficult to transition the copper into the flex. So that is some of the issues you're going to have with older construction. Sometimes very, very old construction, like the early 1900s, the foundation sometimes become weaker, right? That's another problem too. Another problem is the older construction home. Let's say you're buying a home that is 40 years old, and the seller didn't change the roof. The roof age is usually 30 years maximum, right? But now the roof is almost gone. So you're going to buy a home 4 or 5 years later, you're going to see, hey, you know what? The roof is falling apart, and I need to change my roof. That's another $30,000, $40,000 that you had to pay, right? So all these things like the siding and the windows, sometimes the older construction home have only single pane. So when you actually the heat and cold that comes into the home, and it only has like one glass, it comes very easily. And also those windows are not soundproof as well. So if there's car going from in front of your home, then you will have that sound coming in as well, right? And I see some people joining a little bit late, but they don't have to worry about it, because I'm going to record these presentation and upload it on YouTube and put the link back into the groups as well, so that just in case you guys didn't miss it. So the windows are single pane. The new construction, some of the new construction home actually have triple pane windows. So there is like 3 glass layers within that window, so that the sound doesn't come in. There's safety thing as well. Like sometimes if a thief is trying to break into a window, a single pane window is easy to break in. The triple pane window is a little bit hard and tricky to break in, right? By the time the thief tries to break into the home, you can actually call the cops, because it's going to take a little bit of time for him to break 3 glasses. So those are a few things as well with the triple pane windows. And also, if the temperature outside gets really cold, you don't have to raise the heat right away, because the triple pane windows will trap and block all that cold inside the panes. So those are some of the things that older construction home doesn't have. But older construction home have like big lots, big backyard, big front yard. And then you can also like, and also some people might say, hey, I saw one new construction home, it has a big lot. Well, that's true, but not all of them. Majority of them, what I'm talking is the majority, right? And then you're also going to say, well, I saw one new construction home which just doesn't have a lot of main floor bedrooms, right? So,
Muhammad.
you know, that is just, I'm talking about the majority, not one of them you actually find. So just to let you make it clear. Okay, so here's the new construction home. So if you see the old construction and the new construction, you can see the difference is pretty much two homes are built almost in the same lot. Like there is not much gap, you know, in the lots. Like there are not that many main floor bedrooms. You have a garage, right? Right next to the garage, there is a small living area. There's a kitchen. That's pretty much it. Then you have to go climb up the floor. Then you're gonna find more bedrooms there. You're gonna find maybe 2 or 3 bedrooms. Then you go another floor. Then you're gonna find another 1 or 2 bedrooms as well. And it has a very small backyard. Like you can't make a small playground, or you can't put a basketball net there for your kids to play, because sometimes it's small, sometimes it's big, but sometimes most of the time it's small. And it has only 0 to 1 main floor bedroom. Sometimes it only has like a small den type of thing, like an office for people to just work on the main floor. So kind of like that concept, right? So pros, right? Some good things about the new construction home. If you see this new construction home on the right, right? Okay, let me talk about some of the other things. Well, new construction home has new plumbing, new electrical, and construction with the latest code. So what happens is the city usually, the city laws, state laws, they update the code, and everybody have to work according to the code. Let's say I'll give you an example of a code. If it's a very, it's just a small example. Let's say you have probably seen a frame where they're like the wooden sticks, right? So the code between, there should be a specific amount of gap between those, and the electrical code, if somebody's getting a electric fan into the bathroom, it has to come through a new wire, and all those things to avoid fire, avoid all the different problems. But what happens is, whenever a new code comes, and that code gets applied to all the new construction homes, but the old construction homes are being grandfathered in. So they're like, oh, you know what? That code didn't exist before. So we're not going to force you to change all of your plumbing, electrical, and everything. We'll let you stay the way you already have. But if you're going to make changes, then you have to apply the new code. You can't use the old code anymore. So the code is basically rules and regulations based on which they have to build their home. So as an example, I was telling, the new code is flex plumbing, not copper anymore. So all the new construction homes are going to have flex. So if you have to make any changes to the bathroom or bedroom, add or remove plumbing, it's going to be very easier for you, because that has been built according to the new code, right? Then you're going to have very less likely any problems that will occur in mechanicals, such as, and you're going to have like new AC, new furnace, new water heater, and all those things. If you buy a home, let's say that's 30 years old or 20 years old, the water heater usually lasts 15 years max. But the seller might sell you a home without changing the water heater. That's about maybe $2,000. So then you would have to buy the home, and you would realize, well, you know what? My water heater is having some sort of leak. And then you're going to call the plumber. Oh, he's going to say like, this water heater is like 20 years old. So what that means is that's old, right? But you're not going to have that problem in the new construction home. You're going to have like new sewer connections. You're not going to have like problem where sewer is backed, or there's like problems in sewer where you have to fix things. You also get a new home feeling as well in new construction. Sometimes what happens is that you buy an old construction home, it looks really nice. Like for an example, sometimes you buy a used car. It looks good, but once you buy a car, after like driving it for like 3 months and 6 months, you see like the tires are getting bad, the brakes are getting bad, and the seats are kind of old. You'll find like a spot where somebody dropped the coffee that you didn't see before. You're gonna find things in the home that you didn't, in the car that you didn't see before, and you're not gonna have that type of feeling. Well, this is like, it's not really new, right? So in the new construction home, you have like a new feeling. Wow, everything is new, everything is nice and clean. There's nothing old, right? And one more thing in the new construction home is they have a lot of windows. Like Seattle is gloomy, they don't have a lot of sunlight. So one thing with the Seattle thing is, you have like, you need to have a lot of windows in order for your home to actually look like nice and, for the sunlight to come in. So if you see the home on the right, you really can't see a whole bunch of main bedrooms here, but you can actually see like almost like 6 7 windows in this one picture. And in the older construction home, like the living area where you see 4 windows, it will only have like 2 windows instead of 4. But the new construction, it has like a lot of windows. So those are like, a few things. And sometimes new construction have like everything up to the code of like 2020 2021 standards. Like let's say 15 years ago there was a closed kitchen concept, but the kitchen was closed, right? It kind of like small, tight, and ugly. Now the kitchen is big, kitchen is nice, everything is great. So you have those 2020 standards. So if you actually buy a home that is 30 years old, you try to upgrade it to the 2020 standards, just the kitchen will cost you like $15,000 to upgrade. Because if you're going to break the wall might have like plumbing in it, the wall might have electrical in it, the wall might also have cabinets in it. So you're going to break everything up, you're going to place all that electrical wiring everywhere in some other place and open up the kitchen, right? So those are some of the things you're going to actually find in the new construction home that are nicer. Also, sometimes new construction homes, you can actually do some customization as well based on your needs. Like for an example, you buy a new construction home and that's in the process of completing. Like I just sold a home that is in a process of construction. It didn't complete yet. And the buyer wanted me to make that as confidential. He didn't want me to share the address and the details of the home because he's going to share everything once it's ready and done. And he actually enters the home with his keys. You can actually, so my buyer is actually getting customization. He's saying, oh, I want this color paint in the kids' room. I want that color paint in the living area. I want a pantry to be added, pantry cabinet to be added. I'm going to pay like $5,000 extra for it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So he's actually walking through the builder and getting all those customizations done. Some of the customizations are free. For some of the customizations, he had to pay the money for it. So all those things, you can actually get it done in the new construction home, right? So there are cons of buying like, things that is, negative things about the new construction home. As some of them already mentioned, like only 0 to 1 main floor bedrooms. Like somebody have parents who are older and they can't walk up the stairs, so they don't have a main floor bedroom. So that really sucks for them because they really need a main floor bedroom. You're spending like 500,000, 800,000, $1 million on a new construction home, and you can't get a bedroom for them. It kind of sucks, right? So that's one thing of the new construction home. Sometimes you're not able to find a bedroom, but sometimes you have an office space you can actually convert into a bedroom if that's possible, right? So sometimes you have a big living area, you can cut the living area into half and make half of the living area into bedroom. I mean, it's not the best suggestion, but that's like temporary, something that you can do. And make sure your construction man puts the screws for the sheetrock that he's going to add to make the living area into the bedroom, cut the living area half into the bedroom, because the screws are easier to remove. I actually did that for one of my group rentals that I had a 5-bedroom home converted into 7-bedroom where the living area was huge. So I cut the living area into half and I created that a bedroom where I actually give those homes individually to professionals working in the area, and they rent individual rooms. And the more rooms I have, the more money I make. So I actually cut the living area into half and created that into a bedroom. But now I'm trying to sell that home and people don't like it because that's like actually a huge home, but the living area is small. So I have to put the living area and open the living area back up again in order for people to like it, because they're saying, well, the home is nice and big, but we have a big family. We're going to chill, watch TV, play in the living area. And the living area is so small that we can't do it. So I'm making all those changes in order for me to sell that home. So, but my contractor who actually did that work before, he put screws in there so that he can unscrew them and put the sheetrock, remove the sheetrock. So it's easier for demolition and put that back into an open living area. Lots are small, so you can't really control that much. Just make sure that a lot is as like not too small for like you, not, is not way too small, right? Sometimes it's hard to find like side-by-side garage. It's really important to actually have like two side-by-side garage, because if you have like garage which is back to back, front and back, what happens is if you have another car parked behind your car, then you have to pull that car out, then you have to pull your car in, then you have to put the other car back into the garage. If it's front by front, back to back, side by side, then you don't have to do all that. You can take your car out of the garage and you can put it back on the side of the other garage, right? Another benefit of side-by-side garage is you can actually convert half of the garage into like gym area. You can actually put like a home workout machine and do the other stuff. Sometimes I like to convert my garage into like a small living area or a small living room, or make it a gym and put my cars in the driveway. That way I have like a home gym where I can work out, and I really have to like go out to the gym, and you can just park my cars in the driveway, right? But sometimes it just depends. Like for an example, if you have like a Porsche, like over $100,000 that you paid for a car, you don't want to put outside the garage, because then your cars will actually be exposed to the sun, to the rain, and everything is going to gather moisture, is going to gather rust and all those things. So if you have an expensive car, make sure you put it in the garage. But just a small example that I wanted to give, when I actually look at homes with big car garages, I like to convert the garage into like small living place, or kids place, or turn it into like a table tennis place or gym or something like that. So you can do that as well. I have some good ideas. If you wanted to do that, you can reach out to me. I'll give you some suggestions. And nowadays, right now, a lot of the new construction homes have crazy competitions, right? Almost like 1 year ago, my buyers were walking to the new construction home. They were able to like get an appointment. Now, if you actually walk into an office for a new construction home, you get kicked out. They're like, hey, you know what? We're not showing everybody. It's only by appointment, and due to COVID, we can only show like one person at a time. So all my buyers are being actually thrown back up. So I had to schedule appointment for my buyers and walk them through and show them the homes. Like if you don't even have like buyer's agent, sometimes they don't even show you the place. In the beginning, if the buyer have an agent, he could take his agent's card and information, register himself, and just walk in without even an appointment. But now that's not possible. And even if you get an appointment, you're able to see the home. You're not able to buy a new construction home that's move-in ready. You can only buy a lot, which will be constructed in the next 6 to 8 months, right? Some of the problems with that is like, the loan, you're not going to get a loan based on the current interest rate, or mortgage rate, right? And you're going to get a mortgage rate based on when the home will be ready. So that's another problem with that. And the rates could be higher later on. So if you have a good deal, you're going to actually lose on it, right? But I heard like the rates are going to stay the same for almost like next couple of years. So another thing is, you have to pay additional for the appliances. They're almost like almost like $20,000 you're going to be spending extra on appliances and all the other things that the older construction home already offers. But the new construction home, those are the things you have to pay. As I said, so those are the few things with the new construction homes. So now you're like, hey, Abdul, you talked about great things about the older construction. You talked about like great things about the new construction, the pros and cons. You got me all confused now. So like, should I buy new construction or should I not buy? So here is a few things I'll tell you that can help you decide whether you should buy new construction or not. So if you're fine with the cons, like the disadvantages doesn't really matter to you, then you can buy it. If the main floor bedroom doesn't really matter, like I have this one guy who's a friend. He's actually an engineer in one of the top companies. He actually bought a home. He's young and he doesn't have like parents living right now, so he doesn't really matter to him like whether the new construction home have main floor bedrooms or not. He can walk up the stairs. He's like young, and it doesn't really matter, right? So he's like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna buy a new construction home. So few other things is like, sometimes you're not the type of person who actually likes big lots and you want to do a barbecue and all that. You can still do a barbecue, but you can't play in the backyard if it's not that big. Like you can't play soccer or basketball there. So it doesn't really matter to you, then you can buy it. Second thing is, if you like to customize your home, wait longer. Like sometimes you have like ladies in the home who like certain type of paint, and they like this and they like that. They have all these wishes, and they can't do that in the older construction, because in the new construction, while the home is under construction, you can actually get all those customizations done. You can add, ladies like to have like certain type of pantry cabinet. They like to have like certain type of countertop. And they like to have like certain type of like microwave and the dishwasher and this and all that. So you can get all those things customized, and you can pay a little bit extra and get those things done for a new construction home, which you cannot do for an older construction. And if the pros are higher than the cons, then yeah, buy it. If there are more advantages than disadvantages, then you just buy it. So that's what I recommend for a new construction home. And if you have questions about new construction homes, you're trying to reach out, you can reach out to me anytime. I can help you out. These are a couple of the new construction homes I actually sold. The one on the left is a new construction home, which have is a townhome. But that doesn't have like a whole lot of bedrooms. But sometimes like you do have a lot of bedrooms. But this is actually a nicer home, which my buyer got like almost for a very, very good deal. If my buyer sells this home on the left right now, he's probably gonna make at least $100,000 in profit. And he bought this home, I think about like 9 months ago. I think eight months ago. But he got a really good deal on this property. And the one on the right is actually under construction. So my buyer actually didn't want me to share the details right now of the home, where it's located. But when it sells, I'm going to share the details if he's okay with that. Sometimes I maintain confidentiality with the people who I actually work with. And some of my buyers wanted me to maintain the confidentiality. So I'm not going to share the details of it right now. But if you wanted me to share the details, I'll share it once it's complete. So he's actually walking to the property right now and doing customization and all those things he's actually doing on the right. So yeah, no, I mean, if you have any questions or anything like that, you can let me know. I'll be happy to answer it for you. Sure. And if you're shy to answer any question, you ask any question, you can even post in the chat. I can answer the question there as well.
Assalamualaikum. Sorry, I was on mute when I was asking my question. So I've noticed that the new construction.
Brother Rizwan says this is really informative. I appreciate your time. Thank you. You're welcome.
Assalamualaikum. Can you hear me?
Looks like there are no questions right now. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I know that some people joined late, and you don't have to worry about that because I'm going to record. I already recorded this. I'm going to upload it on YouTube and put the link into the group. Next
one of the gentlemen
is
talking. Actually, somebody is asking a question. Can you hear them?
Looks like somebody's asking a question. 1 second. Okay, I think my computer volume is low. 1 second.
Yeah, you cannot hear our audio.
Okay. Oh, sorry, my computer volume was low. Now I know that somebody's asking a question. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear now. Yes.
Okay. Hi. So, Assalamualaikum. My name is Omar. So I've noticed the new constructions in the market lately. A lot of them they have HOA tied with it. In my experience with HOA, I haven't had really a great experience with HOA. And it just seems like the new houses that are being developed, that they have this HOA associated with them, and it really limits the options for buyers to like find one without any HOA. So is that something that you're seeing as well from a real estate perspective?
Yes, that's a great question. The thing is that HOA is a whole different thing. It has a lot of things. I did a presentation on HOA. You can actually look at it. So the thing with the HOA, some HOAs are great. So some of the HOAs are just very limited to basic landscaping, and that's okay. Like for an example, if it's a townhome, right? The townhome I just sold on the left has a HOA. It actually looks like a single family home, but it's not a single family home. It's a townhome.
What is HOA, by the way?
HOA is a homeowner association, and what they do is they regulate the thing. For an example, this place have about 6-7 townhomes all together on the left you're seeing. And that townhome, people can actually do a whole bunch of mess. Like they can decide not to cut their grass. They can decide to paint their home some ugly different color, or change the windows, or change their home style, do additions to the home, add more bedrooms, or add bedrooms to the top floor. You can do a whole bunch of things, but they don't want you to do a whole all that, and they want you to like kind of like give them the responsibility to take care of your landscaping and all that, and they'll just charge you basically like $100 per month. Sometimes it's only like $50 per month, something like that. That's like just maintaining basic HOA. That's okay. But sometimes the other HOAs are very, very bad. And they're a very small percentage of HOA. What they do is they don't maintain properly their funds. Like for an example, if they're collecting like $400 per month from the homeowners, then when they do an upgrade, and they actually go and do an upgrade of like $3 million, and then they go and ask all the homeowners, hey, can you give me 10,000? Can you give me 10,000? And the homeowners cannot say no, they had to pay that. So that is like one problem with the HOA is HOA sometimes can come back to the buyers, homeowners, and ask them for additional money, which is also called as an assessment that is towards the home. So if you are buying a home, I like whenever I buy a home, I always make sure that my buyers are aware of any assessments that is on the property, right? So if there's $10,000, the buyer will actually assume it. So the buyer needs to know about it, and most of the buyers are not willing to do that. Sometimes they say that, hey, you know what? If the property is worth like $400,000, they're going to sell the property for $380,000 because the HOA is $20,000. So they want the buyer to assume the HOA, the assessments on the HOA. So that is one bad thing about the HOA. There are a few good things about the HOA as well. Is you don't have the headache to pay for the water, do the landscaping, change the roof, change the siding, and all that crap. Like for an example, if there's a hailstorm and the hail hits the roof and damages the roof, and you're a single family homeowner and you are actually responsible to change the roof, but if it's HOA, they'll take care of it because they have a master policy in their insurance. So every time I do get condos for my buyers who have those condos associated to an HOA, I make sure that the HOA has a master policy that covers those things. And then the insurance is cheaper for the homeowners who actually have condos or townhomes, which have HOA covering most of the things, because the homeowner is only responsible to pay the inside of the any damage that happens, not the exterior, like the siding, the roof, and all those things, foundation, everything else. The homeowner doesn't pay. So instead of paying like $100 per month insurance, you only pay like 30 or 40 bucks per month. So those are some good things, but there are also bad things about the HOA as well. Like kind of like I mentioned that there is, assessments and all those things that people charge. And sometimes I saw some places where HOA is just collecting money from people and they're not doing any upgrades. So the home kind of looks ugly from outside. And then when you have to sell the property, nobody wants to buy it because it all looks ugly from outside, because the siding is bad, the paint is bad, everything's bad. So I hope I answered your question. If you have additional questions, you let me know.
I do have a follow-up question. Do you feel that the people that sell their homes that have HOA is harder to sell, or does it, like, do you feel like it when they're on the market to sell that have the HOA, the house that has the HOA, do you feel like it kind of reduces the value of it?
No, not at all, because all the condos and townhomes have HOA, and a lot of people can't afford to buy a single family home. Let's say in Bellevue, average condo is almost selling for about $500,000. On a lower end, it's like $450,000, $400,000. A single family home in Bellevue is selling for $1 million. So in some places, people can't afford to buy single family homes. So pretty much everybody's buying condos right now. Most of them who are averaging salaries about $100,000. People who are like making a little bit more, they're actually able to buy like, single family homes or $1 million, where they have paying 20% down, almost like $250,000 down payment. They're able to buy some higher end properties. So I'm selling a lot of condos with pretty much everybody have HOA. You are right for some properties where the HOA is significantly higher, where the HOA is over $700. Those properties are a little bit trickier to sell because some of the HOA offered like clubs, home, uh, like clubbing rooms. They offer like a whole bunch of amenities. They offer like golf course, swimming pool, basketball court, and a whole bunch of things. And most people don't like that, and they just don't want to pay $700, $1,000 HOA. And that's the reason those properties are a little bit trickier to sell. But the properties, the HOA are under $600. They are kind of easier to sell. So, and then the HOA which have problems, like one of them, a buyer bought a home and the lender didn't approve the transaction because the HOA has litigation in it. Somebody sued the HOA. And the HOA did not provide proper documentation, reason why they got sued, and they were not able to provide information. So then they were, the transaction, the lender didn't pay for the transaction, but my buyer had inspection financing contingency that protected the buyer's earnest money deposit, and the buyer was able to get his earnest money back. So there are very minor cases. There was only like one case in my career where the HOA has like litigation and the lender didn't get approved. But most of the time HOAs are okay, and they're fine, they do good. But there are very small percentages of HOA that are not good and they don't do good maintenance.
Okay. I'm gonna leave my questions for another session. I'm hoping, inshallah, maybe another session you can talk a little bit more about HOA in detail. But I think there are some other brothers that had questions in the chat.
Yeah, definitely. And you can also DM me as well, just in case you have any questions that are not, and I'll be able to answer that. You can WhatsApp me. Sure. So how far can I buy a new construction home in 1 year possible? Sorry, I didn't get this question very clearly. How far can I buy a new construction home? Is 1 year possible? Yes. So I think if you buy, so they're like all the new construction home like have different phases: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. In every phase, they have a specific number of lots that they build. So you go to a new construction place, office, and they'll show you phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. They say, well, in phase 1 we have 10 lots, 9 of them got sold, we have 1 left, and this lot has like 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom. And then you're gonna say, well, that doesn't help me because I'm actually looking to buy like 4 bedroom home. And then they're gonna say, well, you know what? Actually, you should actually come and look at the phase 2. So the phase 2 is probably starting the new construction maybe next 6 months. So the construction time might take 8 months or 10 months. So if they start construction after 6 months, then you add 10 months to it. That will be actually another 16 months. So then you're actually almost like 16 months out. So it's actually possible for you to buy within 1 year, but it just depends on what they have available. Right now, new construction homes are just selling like in a blink of an eye. Like I have buyers who are trying to schedule appointments to actually come and take a look at the new construction home this weekend. And by the time it's time for their appointment to go, the home's already sold and they're pending. So that's the thing. So the moment the phase starts, people are already booking the homes and they're selling it. So now most of the places, they have like one model home where they show the model home and they say that your new construction home it was going to be something like this, but it has a different floor plan. So you just buy the new construction home right now based on the lot that you look at, and then you buy it based on the floor plan that you look at. So it's really, really difficult right now to look at the real property and buy it as it's ready. You have to buy it based on an assumption of how it's going to look like. So I hope I answered your question, Brother Ibrahim. So if anybody have any questions.
That was great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. Any other questions? So if there are no other questions, we can end this call. And you have any other questions, feel free to DM me for any questions you have. And don't be shy. Like for an example, somebody's like, hey, you know what? I'm not really buying a home. I don't want to waste your time. And I just have this question. Hey, you know what? It doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm just here to like provide knowledge. You don't really have to buy or sell a home. Maybe you have a friend or cousin buying homes in some different states and they're confused about making some decision. You just inbox me, message me, and I'll respond to you. That's going to help them out. So I like to add value and share knowledge. So it doesn't really matter you're looking to buy a home right now or not. Maybe you're thinking about it and you just want to wait and you have questions. You can feel free to share it with me. You can text me on WhatsApp. You know, every day I take a little bit time out to actually respond to everybody who have general questions. So just wanted to let you know. So. Okay, sounds good. So looks like we don't have any questions. So I'll go ahead and end this call.